Today we got a story about a crazy feminist girl, one that literally wants all men to disappear. I'm saying disappear because I don't want YouTube to ban or demonetize my channel. So yeah, this story is very juicy indeed, and I was just shocked when I read about it. And there is a crazy twist at the end, so make sure to watch through the end. I'm sure you will enjoy it. If you want to send in your own story and be featured on this channel, you can do so via mailing rushbusiness@gmail.com. But without further ado, let's get into the first story. So the first story begins with the subscriber who sent in this story at his elementary school, and let's call the subscriber Warren. And the craziest thing about this is that this happened when Warren was in 5th grade, like literally. When I was a kid, when I was in 5th grade, we weren't even busy with these complex subjects like feminism. But anyways, Warren started his school year and his class was pretty much the same as last year, except that this year there was this new girl in the class who transferred from another school. Let's call her Julia. And well, Julia wasn't particularly a great person. She was incredibly rude to teachers and very often had to stay after school because she had some detention work to do. Anyways, on the first day, however, she had to introduce herself to the class and literally refused to do so. Because she told the teacher that the guys didn't deserve it, that they would pay attention to her. Like, seriously, what the hell? I'm reading it now and honestly, I'm just blown away by the pretentiousness this girl is radiating. Anyways, the teacher somehow agreed to that because he didn't even care too much about these introductions, as he thought to himself, well, maybe this girl is just extremely shy and thought of an elaborate plan to lie her way out of these introductions. Anyways, all the boys in the class already hated her instantly because, as simple human behavioral rules dictate, we humans generally like to hate people who hate us back. And like even the girls in the class thought it was weird that Julia told everyone that she didn't want to introduce herself to the boys. And like 5th grade means that these kids were about 10, 11 years old, which is already the age where boys and girls find the other gender yucky. So anyways, Julia was in 5th grade and already decided she wanted to be a sociopathic political leader in the future. So what she decided to do was to go up to all the girls in the class and ask them if they wanted to join what? Her women's rights movement. I seriously am shocked. I'm reading this at the moment now. What the hell is even going on here? Now, let me tell you something about this group. Now, this group was not an activist group at all. In short, Warren wrote that the group was a KAM group, meaning Kill All Men group. Basically a group which supports a TikTok movement where people want to kill all men, apparently. What the hell is the world coming to where 5th graders want to become killers? Or more like genocidal maniacs? Ah well, like yeah, these groups think that they are able to survive without men. Did they ever think about the fact that they are not gonna be able to have children without the opposite gender? Like society would just fucking crumble. But I guess that's just what these people want to happen. For some reason, I don't know which reason that is. Because they had one bad experience with their boyfriend in high school or something. Like, come on bro, really? Is that really gonna make you hate all men? I mean, sure, there are some rotten apples, but I mean, I don't know, this is just a bit too much, right? But you might be wondering, did she convince these people to join the group? Sadly, yes, she did. Literally all the girls in the class joined this group, or cult, I guess. Now, around the time, it was like Christmas break, and after Christmas break, she wanted to expand her little empire that she made in the classroom. So she decided she was going to ask some of the guys if they wanted to join the group. I mean, I don't know why she asked the guys to join the group if she like really hated men that much, but hey, I mean, some guys literally just joined the group, surprisingly, and some of them were actually friends with Warren. And now the only reason why they joined is because they had a crush on this Julia girl. And now I don't know why they would have a crush on her, but whatever. I guess they just had a pretty bad case of Stockholm Syndrome. Anyways, Warren, he was just having trouble understanding why the hell they joined the group. And now they were preaching to Warren about how men were so terrible and they literally just would not stop bothering him. They were just like on his ass just because he didn't join the group. Now, because Warren refused to join the group after his friends did, he became like the group's biggest target, like the biggest punching bag. They basically would harass him like everywhere he went, whether it was recess and even when he just walked into the class, in the hallways. They would always try and give Warren a lecture of how men are terrible. And some of the girls would even take it as far as to say that men deserve to die. And now that was his tipping point. He couldn't take it any longer. Like he just had enough. The harassment was just going on for way too long now. I mean, it was already Christmas break when it started, and now at this point it's almost spring. And the days were kind of just going as normal until this very one day. Now, Warren just sat by himself at lunch, and he's kind of gotten used to the harassment at that point because all of his friends ditched him, which is just awful. They would much rather simp for girls who wanted to kill all men, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. They would literally do everything that Julia said. So yeah, Warren was totally done with this shitty behavior and decided it was time to strike back. He thought to himself, well, Julia is the leader of the group. I need to somehow take her out so the group will disband in a way that they will never harass me anymore. So one day he decided to literally just punch her in the face during lunch break. So he just runs over as fast as he can and just punches her as hard in the face as he can. God damn. He's like the least base elementary school boy I've ever read about. Anyways, he gets up out of his seat and just runs over as fast as he can and just punches her as hard in the face as he can. And she knocks out on the table. Because keep in mind, he's been dealing with this harassment from this group and especially from this leader girl for half the school year. And by that point, he was just fed up, man. And everybody at this table started throwing their lunch trash at him. The apples, the bread, basically the everything. And after that, he just like dipped out of the lunchroom and the principal was chasing him down in the hallway. Eventually, he took him to his office, sat him down and asked him to explain why he did that. But then he explained to the principal that he is basically being harassed by Julia and her stupid group for like half of the school year. So Warren was just fed up and wanted them to stop messing with him. Like sometimes you just have to not take any half measures to stop the bullying or harassment. Because man, kids really can be cruel sometimes because of the lack of empathy. Like their brains are not fully grown yet, so some kids, they just have to learn the hard way. And yeah, the principal was absolutely right about suspending Warren because honestly, it will be a bad example if all the kids in the school just could get away with violence in the first place. I mean, Warren already proved this point and already swung back at Julia, so he was already satisfied. Anyways, the principal suspended Warren for a whole week, and after that suspension was over, he returned back to the classroom where, to his surprise, his friends didn't treat him like garbage anymore. So Julia saw that and of course did not like that one bit. She decided it was a great idea to now start harass Warren's friends because they sided with Warren again, I guess. Man, this girl is just really a psycho. And the craziest part of this is that Warren's friends were technically still part of the friend group, Julia's group, like the feminist movement or something. Well, guys, I'm just being sarcastic, of course, because at this point, Warren and his friends decided to think of an elaborate plan to get Julia into trouble. Like, they all anonymously agreed with each other that Julia needs to be taught a lesson and that her crazy manipulation tactics will not work anymore on the boys. And also, most of Warren's friends completely lost their romantic interest in Julia when they finally saw and realized how much of a brat she really was, trying to play people against each other and whatnot. So anyways, Warren and his friends started thinking about how do we do this? How do we get her in trouble? And eventually they came up with an idea. It wasn't a really complex idea, but rather a simple one. You see, they all thought to themselves, what if we all simultaneously report everything Julia did to the principal? And I mean, it's almost guaranteed that if, let's say, 10 kids come up to the principal office and report the same thing at the same time, I mean, of course, the principal is going to believe it, right? Well, that is exactly what happened. Julia had to disband the group and apologize to everybody, on top of getting detention for almost 2 weeks, which was way longer than Warren's punishment for punching her in the face. Anyways, eventually everyone was soon released from Julia because her mom ended up cheating with another man, apparently, and moving away from her husband to another city. So she took Julia with her. Let's just hope that Julia will not turn out to be like her mom. But to be honest, at this point, and judging by who Julia really is, it is probably gonna happen anyways. The best way to support my channel is to binge watch all my story videos. Consider subscribing to the channel if you are new around here and enjoy the content. Click on the playlist showing up on screen right now. I guarantee you will enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.